The controversial drama for One Punch Man Season 3 continues. So the new season premiered on Sunday, and while I love the opening theme song and the artwork in the episode, I cannot deny the lack of animation was very concerning and a little disappointing, considering that this is the season premiere. I do understand that this episode adapted chapters which are dialogue heavy, and of course fans were very angry about this, to the point where they downvoted the episode on IMDB. Not only is this the lowest anime episode of the week, but this episode got a far lower score than the recap episode last week. Damn, that is very embarrassing indeed. And of course I did a video talking about all the fans' negative comments regarding the episode, so go check that out. But overall, the majority of the fan reactions are very mixed to negative, with many fans blaming JC Star for taking 6 long years to deliver subpar animation. Watching Aoki's key rough animation that he created a couple of years ago compared to the final product of season 3 episode 1 of Garuo putting on his shirt is honestly very frustrating.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Yes, I know that scene did have a lot of detail, but damn, to see the drop in quality from that to this is very sad indeed. It's even more infuriating when you see fan animations of the Garuo scene online, like this one, where the creator only took 1 hour to animate this scene. If they could make this scene look as fluid as they did, what is stopping JC Star from creating absolute greatness in the animation department? Well, it does look like we may have the answer to that. 7 days ago, this Redditor asked the question, "I'm curious to why no other studio wanted to pick up season 3. Was it already decided when season 3 was announced years ago? MAPPA studios usually like picking big shows. I'm guessing they had a packed out schedule." And this is what the top upvoted answer had to say on this Reddit thread. The company that holds the rights for the anime of One Punch Man, known as Bandai Namco, decided to go with JC Staff as they are a small budget studio. Studios like MAPPA, Ufotable, or even Bones require high budgets, as that money goes into their action scenes and details. Bandai wanted to save money on One Punch Man, so they went with a studio like JC cause they haven't done as detailed or action-packed work. Hence they are cheaper. Another commenter also said under this thread that JC Staff is more or less the animation equivalent of a supervising contractor. They take the budgets they are given, then farm the work out to a bunch of smaller studios for cheap. The production committee for One Punch Man seems to care more about the anime as a vehicle for merchandise sales than as a work in itself, and therefore selected a studio that would keep the budgets low. Another person on X also said that Aniplex and Bandai Namco Filmworks are the real culprits behind One Punch Man Season 3's low budget. They fund the anime and picked JC Staff again despite fan backlash. Poor studio choice plus tight budget equals disappointing quality. Fans deserve better. And this is more or less confirmed by the goated animator, the legend himself, Vincent Chansard, who on the King of Lighting podcast more or less gave his honest opinions on the fan backlash towards season 3.
Do you have any inside sight on season 3 of Punch Man? Anything that you're allowed to say?
I do, but I'm not allowed to say.
That's fair. That's fair. JC Staff, what? Jump gave them the rights to do that, and that was their choice. Bad choice.
I think I'm sorry to
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
King of Lighting. I think a lot of people blame JC Staff, but I think it's a bit more complex. Sometimes it's not about the animation studio. Sometimes it's about the production committees that are on top of everything and who choose.
Oh,
so fair. I think. You know,
the Gordo thing.
JC Staff,
right? The elders.
Is just a studio that's trying to survive. You know what I mean? Like
yes.
Again, the Japanese industry is very difficult. JC Staff is just a studio with artists who are trying to survive. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
gotcha.
And it's very difficult. All the pressure coming from foreigners, but not just what they see as foreigners, but people on social media harassing the staff. Is very, very difficult for them. And I don't want to be mean about some of my colleagues' work. I think everyone has work conditions that push them to make choices.
Right.
And again, everyone is just trying to survive in this industry.
Right. True.
So there you have it. Vincent more or less says that people are quick to blame JC Staff, but often it's not the studio's call, production companies choose the studio. So essentially an animation studio have been given very little budget and very little time to work on a gigantic IP, and their names have been thrown through the mud. What do I think about all of this? I'm quite mixed on it. On one hand, yes, it is very sad and depressing because these production committees with these big IPs basically want these series to be done as quickly as possible with as little money put in as possible so that they can relish in all of the profits and swim in their pool of money.
We've got to have money.
It is just like what Vincent said, these animation studios are just trying to survive. If they don't pick up these big shows, they will go bankrupt. These guys have got to pay the bills somehow, and what better way to pay the bills than to adapt one of the biggest IPs in shonen history, One Punch Man. But on the other hand, while I do understand all of that, it is indeed the higher ups at JC Staff who more or less gave the thumbs up for their studio to adapt this big IP. Now of course season 3 just premiered, so JC Staff, the artists and animators working there, could well and truly be cooking up something really spectacular for the later episodes. But sadly, JC Staff's track record with One Punch Man hasn't been the best exactly, with season 2 receiving so many negative reactions, as it was the successor of season 1 and it didn't live up to the hype in regards to the action animation, even the art style people disliked. I feel that the real victims in this entire One Punch Man season 3 controversy are the director, artist, and animators working there, because they are the ones drawing these frames, animating these scenes, deciding how a certain shot looks, and if any scenes in the final product are badly animated or badly drawn, then I feel like that is all down to the poor scheduling and really the lack of time to get these scenes done. I am sure it is indeed very frustrating for the artists and animators working at the JC Staff. They don't want to be making subpar work. As a passionate artist, they want to make the best work possible, but due to the lack of time and from what I can imagine the poor payment they receive, this is the final product. Many animation studios, in particular MAPPA, have been exposed for treating the animators and artists so poorly. This is a real issue in the anime industry and things really need to change. This is so unfortunate. Even a couple of weeks ago, the director more or less confirmed that fans, lower your expectations, this season will not look like season 1. And this dude who had no experience working on popular action shonen series was brought on with this tremendous task of adapting the One Punch Man manga into this season 3 anime. Just like what Vincent said, I do feel bad for the animators and the director, as they are just trying to survive. I mean, this is a huge opportunity for the director Shinpai Nagai. It must be a bittersweet feeling getting this great opportunity but feeling the huge pressure and weight knowing that your final product will not surpass season 1. I still wish this dude the best of luck. But this is just season 3 episode 1. There are still 11 episodes to go. Maybe we are all just overreacting. Maybe JC Staff have cooked an absolute meal for the fight scenes in season 3, and the only way for us to know that is to sit back and wait for these episodes to be released every Sunday. And I am very curious to see how those episodes will look like. Tell me in the comments down below, what do you guys think of all of this? Did you like or hate the One Punch Man season 3 episode 1 animation? Tell me. Like this video, subscribe for more One Punch Man videos as well as other anime news updates, reviews, comparisons, breakdowns, rankings, and more. Thank you for watching. The Second Boy Dude signing out.